Hey guys, Karen for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another video for you guys, which I already said. And we are finally back talking Dragon Ball Super manga. Yes, finally, we're talking about the Dragon Ball Super manga again. It's been such a long time with this whole break, this whole hiatus, you know, of the Dragon Ball Super manga, till now. I've been just like waiting, and finally we get a new manga chapter drop. It's been like, I think this is like the first time we talked Dragon Ball since I think Dragon Ball Super Superhero, which, funny enough, this is what this arc is going to be kind of centered around. So if you haven't been hearing in the news for Dragon Ball, this new arc is going to be taking place. The events are going to be taking place before Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and then from what I've heard, when I go to other YouTubers and stuff like that, like for example Geekdom and everything, I'm guessing they're doing a manga retelling of Dragon Ball Super Superhero. They're pretty much doing the Dragon Ball Super Superhero um, in the manga. Now I don't know if there's gonna be certain changes from the manga compared to the movie, the animated movie. I kind of hope not, because I rather just keep things as simple, even though you're kind of rereading the same thing. But maybe there'll probably be like little twists and turns and things like that that might make the story a little bit different. But I think it's pretty cool. They didn't do it for the Broly movie. They just kind of skipped over that. I'm guessing because at the time they wanted to get to the new content. They didn't want to deal with old content we've already seen before. Um, so that's fine. And then we'll probably get an aftermath of the Dragon Ball Super Superhero arc, and then don't know. But also another thing is, I guess we also found out that we're actually getting closer to the end of Z timeline, the end of Z tournament, or the end of Z than we thought. So that's the thing. So obviously, in the build up to this chapter, one of the bigger things is, well, obviously we see Teen Trunks and Teen Goten, which we saw in the movie and everything. And pretty much this chapter is a nice slice of life, getting introduced to the chapter and everything of this new storyline and everything. So, anyways, we get a few pages where it's color spread pages actually, which I don't know if that's a first for Dragon Ball, but I'll take it. And pretty much we just get the aftermath, a quick little, I guess, aftermath conclusion to the Granola arc, and it's Goku and Vegeta finally arriving back at Beerus's planet. Goku, Beerus, and Whis, they're all eating and everything. And pretty much it's this whole thing is like, well, Goku knows that, Frieza surpassed him, and he's got to get stronger to change to tighten the gaps. And then Vegeta's just kind of standing off to the side, looking up at the sky, just seeing Black Frieza, which we get a color sprayed image of what Black Frieza looks like. His torso area and then his shoulder areas, they look like his typical regular, Frieza form. And then even the part of his covering where his nose to his face is at, um, that's also again his typical look, but everywhere else is black. It actually looks pretty cool. It actually looks like a pretty cool badass form. Albeit I still, when I'm going back to just my first thoughts on it, I really kind of still wish it looked different in terms of the way it looks. It doesn't look like freaking Final Form Frieza with a different paint color over it. Again, I know, I guess in some cases I do mind transformations because they do get a little bit too much in Dragon Ball recent now. It's just like, I kind of wish certain Dragon Ball forms just looked unique and different. It isn't just like, oh, what Black Frieza's got going on, or Golden Frieza what got going on, or even Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue, pretty much. Which it's literally Super Saiyan God is literally their base forms with just red hair, and then Super Saiyan Blue is literally them going Super Saiyan God. It's just literally their Super Saiyan hair with blue hair. But yeah, so yeah, that's the thing there. Vegeta looks obviously like concerned with this and everything. Don't know where this is gonna go, but I've seen a lot of people say they would like Vegeta to be the one to finally finish off this Frieza storyline. Honestly, when I look back at it, it would make full complete circle if you have Vegeta being the one to finish Frieza off for good. After everything that Frieza's done to this man so long. Again, maybe again that'll have to be the thing later, but we'll see where this goes. But anyways, we cut back to Earth. We get a full color page spread of pretty much the cover art of this chapter. And we see Dr. Hedo here. We obviously have his zombie like robots, or yeah, his zombies. We have Trunks and Goten in their great Saiyaman outfits. We see Krillin, we see their friends, and then we see Mai, a much older Mai, or a teenage version of Mai. We pretty much have them doing their superhero gimmick, their Saiyaman thing, which it's absolutely hilarious that I see these two characters doing this, especially Trunks, just from the standpoint, because it's like, I remember when Gohan was pretty much their age, and he was doing this whole great Saiyaman thing. And again, this arc, honestly, or this chapter really did remind me of early Majin Buu stage saga stuff with Gohan when he was getting into Orange Star High School, and he was doing the great Saiyaman stuff on the side. It really did remind me of that. And I found it absolutely hilarious how Goten, at first he thought it was cool, and then, at some point later in the series, I think it was sometime in Super, he thought it was actually kind of like, that's not, I don't really care about that anymore. I don't think it's that cool anymore, which kind of broke Gohan's heart at the time. And we already knew that Trunks from the start, the moment he saw that, he's like, that shit looks stupid as hell, bro. I'm not doing that. And then next thing you know, how many years later, because we don't know Goten and Trunks' ages at this time. They're just teenagers. So I'm guessing they're 15, 16 years old. So that's my guess. I found it absolutely hilarious how, especially with Trunks, he thought the great Saiyaman stuff Gohan was doing was absolutely stupid. But cut to when he's a teenager, he's actually doing the same thing as Gohan. Now they got inspiration from the Clean God movie, and I feel like they definitely brought it up off screen, like, well, Gohan used to do this when he was our age, so maybe we can too. I just find it absolutely funny. Trunks is doing something that he thought was stupid when he was a kid. Now he's the one doing it. So I guess if Gohan knew about this, which they're not going to tell him, they already they specified in the chapter, like, they didn't tell anybody in their family that they're doing this. But I would know Gohan would be a happy camper. I want to see Gohan and Vidal's reaction to this, because remember, they were great Saiyaman 1 and 2 at some point. So that was pretty funny. Anyways, we see this jewelry store robbery, and we see how Trunks and Goten are confronting these jewelry thieves. And again, it's similar stuff to what Gohan did back in the Majin Buu arc when he was great Saiyaman. He's just going up against these regular humans with utter ease and taking them down and saving the day. People, were happy that they did it and they saved the day, and they pretty much stopped this jewelry theft store. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, again, we find out they're like happy that they did it, they saved the day again, and they're pretty much saying like, man, we're just like Clean God and everything. I'll say this, their poses are a lot better than freaking well, it's not better than Gohan's great Saiyaman pose, but it seems like they came up with it easier than what Gohan had to do, because he just did that shit on the fly. But I think, again, he got that morally from the Ginyu Force, to be honest. So yeah, anyways, we find out the reason why they did this whole hero stuff is they got inspiration from this cartoon, or the superhero series they watch, called Clean God. So that's kind of the thing. Now Goten gets another alert to his phone from the Daily Bulletin, and it says that there was another theft, but it was a cyber attack. It was a cyber attack, and I guess people's personal information are out there. Now Trunks is kind of like, really, we can't beat people up over that. And Goten makes a mention, well, Trunks, you've never been great with computers. Now I've seen, people in the community, even before the chapter came out, dude, thanks to the spoilers, people in the community were somewhat kind of upset with Trunks, the fact that, well, how the hell would Trunks not be good with computers? Listen, maybe they don't specify how good he is with computers. Maybe he doesn't know how to do all the techie stuff with computers and everything, like the hacking and everything. Maybe he can do the generic functions of a computer, and that's why Goten's saying, well, you're not that super good with computers anyway. Maybe he's talking about like the inners and outers of like hacking and things like that and trying to solve data and everything. Maybe he knows the generic functions of how to use a computer, just not all that extra stuff. People were freaking out about it, and they're like, what the hell? How did Trunks not know how to use a damn computer? Listen, personally, I don't mind it. I think it's just people are just nitpicking just to nitpick. Listen, here's the thing. Yes, Trunks is rich, and yes, he is the son of Dr. Brief, or he's the grandson of Dr. Briefs, and as well as he's the son of Bulma. Just because those two individuals are really freaking smart doesn't mean, and especially when Bulma was a teenager, we knew she was smart too. Just because they were both smart, and they were, and even we don't know about Dr. Briefs if he was smart at an early age. But just because they're smart, they were really smart with all this techie stuff, doesn't mean Trunks can't be. Remember, Trunks is supposed to relate to like the current generation, like these current generations you see in high schools now, which they're not, I guess you could say they're not techie, but kids that aren't as techie as the next guy. And then we see how Trunks kind of is like, he's a kid that looks like he's not taking his school stuff seriously. Like he's doing his hero stuff. And he's not doing his he's not studying and everything. We see him in this chapter, he ends up coming late to class to the point like he's probably on the verge of pretty much, I guess you could say, being expelled for being late, which might be a reason why we see Mai wearing their school uniform, probably to keep Trunks in check to make sure he's going to school. I don't know, maybe that's a thing. But anyways, we can see that Trunks is clearly not taking his teenage life seriously, and everything, and he just wants to live life like as if he was kid Trunks again, but he knows he can't freaking do that. He's got all his school and everything, so I'm not gonna really blame Trunks on not doing that. It must also be a thing where he's not putting enough he's not taking enough assertiveness in himself to do things like that, to actually learn about this stuff. I think it's morally of his personal choice. If anything, I kind of find it, I'm more kind of a little slightly upset, even though it's kind of a gag thing, that he's more afraid of Ghost. And I'm like, why would he be afraid of Ghost? But I'll get to that when we get to that chapter. Yeah, but obviously Trunks kind of mad about that, and he's like, please, I just want to face off against some evil and everything, which again, find funny how that he's talking about all this and everything. So yeah. Anyways, Chi-Chi calls Goten and says like, you need to get your ass here home. I don't know what you're doing here. So then obviously Goten's like, okay, I'll get home. Now he's changing now, and Trunks is like, that's right. Listen, give me your watch. And Goten's like, why? And pretty much Trunks is like, listen, I'm gonna see if we can be able to use like wristwatches and just hit a button and we can automatically have our superhero clothes just dawn on like what Gohan did in the past. I'll just go ask Pilaf because I can't have my mom knowing out about this whole and everything. So yeah, and then pretty much Goten's like, wait, you can ask him things like that? And Trunks is like, yeah, of course I can. So yeah, anyways, Trunks uses, I guess, not Trunks, Goten uses, he's now the person that gets to use Nimbus this time, now that he's going to school. So he takes Nimbus and he's like, okay, well then I'll see you later, buddy. So yeah, anyways, Trunks goes down into his alleyway to try to leave, but he actually runs into his grandparents, and everything, and it's kind of a similar thing, in that one episode of Dragon Ball Z, when, what is it? One of the dinosaurs Gohan knew, was captured, and then the mom came and then knew Gohan, the dinosaur knew Gohan. Same thing happens here. So they pay their little homages to the Great Saiyaman arc, or the early part of the Majin Buu saga and everything. So yeah, that's kind of thing. Now, Dr. Briefs does make the mention in this whole dialogue he has with him, is the fact that his voice does sound awfully familiar. So maybe that might be a thing where maybe he finds out that it is Trunks. But we see that Dr. Briefs and his wife were at the flower store to try to get handsome flowers because she's now entering kindergarten. Now Dr. Briefs makes a mention, maybe I should give her an aircraft because she was getting pretty upset that she couldn't fly like Piccolo and the others. That's obviously directly canon to what happens in the movie, because before, at the starting parts of the movie, when she was first training with Piccolo, she couldn't fly. Up until the end of the movie, she actually could fly. So Yeah. Anyways, all of a sudden, the dinosaur starts barking, and we see that the Capsule Corporation helper robots are running in a direction that Dr. Brief doesn't know what the hell's going on and everything. So yeah. And then that's when they actually run into one of the they run into one of the I guess mummies or zombies that are run by Dr. Hedo. So yeah, and they get scared. Anyways, the next day, Trunks walks into like the workshop at Capsule Corporation, and he's asking he comes in and he asks Pilaf, he's like, hey Pilaf, how's my request from the other day going and everything? And obviously Pilaf's like, oh yes, good morning, young master. Yes, it's going fine and everything. And here, I already finished it. Goten's will be done tomorrow or something like that. So yeah, I don't know why freaking Pilaf calls Trunks young master. He could just call him Trunks, but I guess they're doing that out of respect or something like that. But it seems like they're buddy. It seems like Pilaf and Trunks are buddy. So listen, I don't know why he just doesn't call him by his name, but okay, fine. But anyways, Pilaf's like, hey, since I did this for you, make sure you keep that secret. We have a secret. So we pretty much find out that Pilaf snuck into Bulma's room, stole the Dragon Balls, and obviously is trying to make some wish. We don't know what that wish is. We don't know if the wish is get them back to their regular ages, which they would be fairly old. I don't know. Maybe he would have some world domination wish again. I have no clue. But he has the Dragon Balls. We don't know what Pilaf's wish is. So yeah. And he also makes a mention, oh yeah, don't worry. I won't tell your superhero business to Shu or Mai. They don't even know and everything. And I guess their deal is, well, if you don't say anything about the Dragon Balls, well then I'll keep your superhero identity a secret. So yeah. And then all of a sudden Bulma walks in and she's like, so what are you two talking about? And they're like, nothing, Mom. We're not talking about nothing. Now Bulma gets on Trunks. She's like, aren't you late for school again? So yeah, anyways, Trunks is like, oh yeah, sure, gotta go to school. Anyways, we see Shu and Mai walk, and they're holding they're carrying this box, and everything. Trunks sees Mai, and he starts getting very flustered. I wouldn't say flustered, but he starts blushing. Again, if you don't know this whole storyline that they're pushing, it's this Trunks Mai relationship angle, which I'll speak about in a quick second, in a few minutes. Trunks goes over to help them, and which is mostly Mai's box. It's Mai's box, and he helps. He's like, hey Mai, let me take care of this. And she's like, yeah, sure, thanks, and everything. Shu is like, hey, can you help me out with this too, Trunks? And then obviously Trunks doesn't pay no mind. Now Trunks is like, hey Mai, I was actually thinking, could we talk later today when I get back from school? It's just when I get back home, we'll talk and everything. And he just is kind of laughing it off, blushing at the same time. He's like, see you later. Yeah. Now Bulma picks this up immediately. She just looks at him. She looks at her son. She's like, okay, I see. Here's what I think. I think Bulma obviously knows that her son likes Mai. The question is, will she help her out? Or help him out with the Mai situation, especially the fact that it's a girl and she's a girl. So yeah. Again, I'll talk about the Mai situation a little bit later, or in a quick second, a little bit later, because I know there's some people in the community that do not like this Mai Trunks relationship pushing that they're doing. So anyways, that's the thing. And obviously I was like, isn't that lovely? Such happiness throughout to start the day off, right? And Bulma's like, yeah, hey Pilaf, I know you stole my Dragon Balls. There's security cameras in my room, so don't think you're trying to get away slick with that. And I know you're trying to come up with some, nasty wish. Give it back. Now, the way she phrased nasty wish in this chapter, it implies the fact as if she knows, okay, that's Pilaf from back when I was my age. It was a younger age, back all the way then. Which I don't know. They've always made it vague as if Bulma remembers the Pilaf gang. I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, she gets the Dragon Balls back, so it makes sense because it's like, well, she had the Dragon Balls this entire time. We know she's been wishing the Dragon Balls to, well, make her body younger. Anyways, Trunks is running back into school. He tries to sneak in, but the teacher catches him and he's like, I don't care if you're the heir to Capsule Corporation. You showed up late. Makes the mention of the fact that If he continues to get more tardies like this, he will be kicked out of school. Also, Trunks and Goten do not go to Orange Star High School; they go to Blue Hall High School. So that's actually kind of interesting. Maybe Orange Star High School is more for the elite people, probably. It did take Gohan a lot of work to friggin' get into that school, so it would only make sense that maybe that Orange Star High School is like kind of those schools that's like those, where the best of the best go to in terms of their academics. And we see here Trunks it looks like he doesn't really take his academics seriously. And that's why I'm saying maybe he doesn't know how to use computers really well, and we see that like he's not taking his studies very seriously. So at some point, obviously when Bulma finds out he's not taking his studies seriously, he's gonna have to take it seriously, especially when she finds out about this whole superhero Saiyaman gig. Yeah. Anyways, his friend Compass, yes, that's his name's friend Compass, literally says like, well, listen, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why you're trying to ruin your future up and everything. You're gonna be like the freaking future CEO of the corporation. And we see how Trunks doesn't want to do that. Now we know by the end of Z time, Trunks is pretty much in a high position, and I think he actually is, from what I remember. I haven't seen end of Z content in forever. Trunks, I believe, at the end of Z, he is the CEO running the Capsule Corporation. So maybe that's building up to that. Yeah. Which everything. Anyways, Trunks makes the mention that he needs excitement in his life, and this one girl named Rula pretty much says, well, there's this place about this rumor and everything about these ghosts up at this mountain called Mount Butterfly and everything. So let's how we all go up there now. Trunks is he doesn't look sure he's like ghost and everything, and pretty much Trunks is like, nah, I'm good, I'm pretty busy today, and he goes and make the mention like, ghosts, what the hell, I don't have time for like these ghosts and ghouls and all that spooky stuff. So we find out that Trunks isn't into the horror genre. He's scared of ghosts. Now it's funny how people make a little bit of an issue with the fact that that people take issue with the fact that Trunks doesn't know how to operate a damn computer. I think that's more nitpicky. I think there's actually reasons why you can back up like maybe Trunks doesn't know how to use computers. But the whole ghost thing, I'm like, dude, weren't you like a part of like, well, not every time, but I'm like, dude, you fought Majin Buu as a kid, and to me, you weren't really that scared. Now, maybe they were scared, but regardless, they didn't look like it. They were confident. And then two, one of their freaking own. And this is what blows my mind at the fact that I'm like, dude, how are you scared of ghosts when, guess what? One of your own attacks when you and Goten fuse is literally called Ghost Kamikaze Attack, bro. Like, how are you scared of ghosts, yet one of your attacks in your arsenal when you do fusion is literally Ghost Kamikaze Attack? That makes absolutely no sense. I don't know why Trunks is scared of horror stuff, but it must be his teenage phase. I can understand like maybe he was scared of like scary movies and everything, and that's not his genre and everything, which, I think that would probably be the best thing to take Maya on his little date he wants to take her out on. But regardless, I don't know why he's scared of ghosts. And plus, like I said, he's fought Majin Buu. Like, he's fought Majin Buu. He was there at Bulma's party, his mom's party, when Beerus showed up. That was more terrifying than what Buu could do. He experienced the Goku Black stuff. No, he didn't go to fight Goku Black, but he saw what was going on and everything. He wasn't scared of that, and he was more than willing to try to go to the future timeline to go help out his future self. Simple things like that. It's like, dude, heck, even if you want to go, guess what? In the Dragon Ball superhero movie, he wasn't scared of Cell Max. This is what I'm talking about. I'm like, why is Trunks scared of simple horror stuff like Ghost? Especially the fact that one of his major attacks when he's fused with Goten is literally called Ghost Kamikaze Attack. But that's just me. I don't think it's warranted. Anyways, he runs across Goten. He's like, hey, Goten, want to come over to my place to go play some video games and everything? So they play the Clean God video game and everything. And Trunks pretty much makes a mention like, I'm bored of playing freaking video games. This is so stupid. I just want to get out and kick butt, pretty much. But anyways, Trunks finds out, oh yeah, I gave this free trial and it actually works. So, the wristwatches Pilaf did is gonna work. And the reason why he did that is he actually ended up going to the movie theaters to end up buying the Clean God movie tickets. And he's like, I got these 2 movie tickets and everything, so we're good. And obviously, Trunks is like, really? That's so dope. We're gonna go see this cool movie. We're gonna be great. And then Trunks is like, well, you see, Goten, that's the thing. I would totally have you come, but you see, I really, really want to go with somebody else, and I really want to ask them out. So yeah, and then obviously Goten's like, what? That's no way, man. Come on. And he's like, for real? He's like, and then Goten's like, hold on, let me guess. It's Mai you want to ask out, huh? And Trunks is like, I promise you, I'll make it up to you, my man. I'll make it up to you. Listen, I know I owe you one. I'll make it up to you. Let me just go ask her. Let me get my confirmation and let's go. And then I promise I'll do something for you. So he goes back to the workshop. And it's pretty busy in there. Robots are being fixed and everything. Helper robots are getting taken in. And pretty much Trunks makes a mention. And then, Trunks goes up to Mai. He's like, hey, Mai, remember that talk we wanted to have? Well, you see, I actually ended up getting these movie tickets and everything. So would you like to come? She's like, movie tickets? She's like, yeah, it's the live action Clean God movie, that I've told you about, trust me, these tickets were not easy to get. So would you like to come with me? And Maya's like, I'm not really into that stuff, dude. So yeah, now Pilaf goes in to say, well, you see, she actually can't. We actually got these helper robots, and everything that ended up being recalled, and that was the incidents with the robots going crazy. And pretty much Pilaf says, we'll be working for the entire month, so we literally have no time to hang out and do anything. And pretty much Maya's like, yeah, what he said, pretty much. And pretty much Trunks is like, but really? Trunks is like, really? You can't even take one single day off? Not for like a single night, not for like dinner or just a movie, just to go see a movie? And pretty much Pilaf's like, yeah, I'm afraid she cannot, bro. And Pilaf actually makes mention, she's like, yeah, not even you requesting her to be free would work out. Like, listen, we're only allowed to stay here as long as we're useful. And plus, Shu makes a mention, yeah. Plus, when Boma laid the law down this morning, that's kind of the thing there. So yeah, and pretty much Trunks is like, okay, then how long is all this thing gonna? How long will this all take? Now Pilaf goes and say it's impossible to say. For now, the non-stop helper bots keep getting carted off. Again, 2 more come in. Now Trunks is like, okay, then what's the hell's going on? Now. Shu is like, well, they stopped obeying the orders and they started running away from home. Now, Pilaf goes to make the mention, he's the one that created these helper bots for Capsule Corporation. And he goes on to say, he pretty much goes on to say, like, oh, yeah, I've programmed these bots. I don't know what's going on, why these bots are disobeying orders, but there's got to be some tampering going on and everything. Now Shu makes a mention, there's a rumor that when night falls, strange folk appear to meddle with the helper bots. Pretty much Trunks like, so if I catch these weirdos that are messing with these helper bots, I can go out with Mai. Or he goes, he pretty much says like, Mai's gonna be free, I can go out with Mai and everything. And pretty much, Pilaf's like, well, yeah, if the recall's called off, yeah, go right ahead, kid. And obviously Trunks is like, that is a great idea. Thanks for letting me know. I've got some criminals to stop. And he's like, don't worry, Mai. Just wait a bit. And I'm like, okay, my man. I see you. You're doing an assertive thing. He wants to make his moves. So he gets back in his room. He tells Goten, he's like, we need to go out there right now, bro. So, yeah. Anyways, they talk about the reports. About what's going on and everything. Trunks doesn't like being at the night, being in the middle, pretty much the middle of the night. Well, I want to say the middle of the night, at night, walking on the sidewalk and everything. Don't blame him. Trust me. With everything that goes on in this world, with people easily getting killed and everything, I make sure at night, unless I'm in my car, I just freaking directly stay in my house all night long. I don't want to go outside anytime soon. So, yeah, anyways, they make a mention of like there's creepy minions and ghosts and everything. Trunks obviously gets scared and everything. Freaking Goten's like, wait, you're scared of ghosts, Trunks? And Trunks is like, no, me scared? I'm not scared of these games. I'm not scared, I'm brave. And Goten's like, well, I don't know why you'd be scared because technically our dad were ghosts at some point. And Trunks is like, no, that was different. I'm like, not really. They're not. Well, I guess they're not ghosts. They were just brought back from the dead. So, yeah. Anyways, they run into another zombie that freaks Trunks out to the point he bumps into a pole and everything. So yeah, we see a helper bot, and a helper bot ends up going off the rails, and we see that the zombie used a button to do it. So Trunks and Goten see that, okay, yeah, this person is causing this. So yeah, and they see that the dude is trying to get away. They follow him and everything. Now, again, Trunks is like, I don't know, Goten, maybe we should come back here tomorrow or something, or maybe when it's more day out. And pretty much, you have Goten be like, oh, what are you, scared, dude? Like, are we going to do this thing or what? Otherwise, guess what? If you don't do this, then you'll never get to go on your movie date with Mai. Yeah. And you have these three panels where, you have one side, Trunks is thinking it's this old zombie thing, while the other side is just imaginative reality on if he's going out on a date with Mai. And the more it's kind of this whole thing, he's getting more of the scary ghost thing, but then he has like Mai trying to take him to go on to the movie theaters and having a good time, and then he's like, the devil, the angel. It's absolutely hilarious, bro. It's absolutely hilarious. And then obviously the Mai reality, he wants so much, and everything is like, okay, damn it, we'll do this thing. So yeah, anyways, we see these zombies. They're obviously dealing with these robots and everything. Eventually these zombies end up catching Trunks's friends from school, and Trunks goes in to save them and his great Saiyaman X1 gear. But throughout the fight with the zombies, his Saiyaman form deforms, and his friend sees Trunks really. Goten quickly fires off the lights, and pretty much gets his friends out of there. Pretty much they run off because Goten's like, yeah, there's like, it's still all an illusion, like, so maybe there really are ghosts and everything. So yeah, anyways, Trunks transforms into a Super Saiyan. He puts on he goes into his Saiyaman gear and pretty much beats the one zombie dude and everything. So yeah, they end up looking around. They look into the safe, and this safe is a disc of a confidential stuff from Dr. Gero. If you remember who Dr. Gero is, he was obviously the scientist for the Red Ribbon Army, and again, a relative of Dr. Hedo. So yeah, Krillin actually shows up this chapter, and he runs into Trunks and Goten. Pretty much, he said he heard rumors about these creepy people coming up here and everything. So yeah, it's absolutely funny, because it's like, he's like, yeah, The Walking Dead, there's like apparently people like The Walking Dead, and it's like, Walking Dead, so they really were freaking ghouls and everything, which is absolutely funny. Anyways, Dr. Hedo comes back, and he sees just the waste, all the destruction Trunks left and everything. Pretty much the one zombie's like, here, this kid from this school freaking did this and everything. And yeah, Hedo's like, Blue Hall High School, seems like I gotta go there. And because he finds out that the Dr. Gero confidential disc was taken, and pretty much the zombie says, yeah, it was taken by them. So yeah, Hedo makes the mention of why he needs to get that disc and everything. So yeah, and we also find out that, well, before, I guess, Dr. Hedo did what he needed to do, which I guess landed him in jail, is he actually was doing a sushi business thing going on, and I guess their sales were going up at the time. So yeah, and this sushi thing was in West City. Trunks makes a mention like, the sushi isn't that good, but okay, to him it isn't that good. So yeah, and he's like, well, I need to procure some research funds some other way, I guess. So that's the thing. Last page of the chapter pretty much is it where Trunks goes and he's like, "Hey, Mai, about this Saturday, right?" And then Pilov's like, "Oh boy, man." He's like, "Oh, Trunks, yeah, here. Sorry, we can't have that day off, and everything. You see, the recall was canceled, but you see, we got some small army bots, our army wharf broken bots to repair. We'll be going without sleep for the day, pretty much, until we meet our job or duties and everything." And pretty much, Trunks is like, "What? Like, what happened?" And Shuji goes on to say, "They found a whole heap of missing bots in the old place out on Butterfly. It seemed like someone had smashed them to bits." And Trunks is like, "Fuck!" And then he's just like, "You can't be fucking serious, bro." So pretty much, in a way, because Trunks did. So pretty much what Trunks did is he went up there, smashed those robots over there. And because of it, they ended up getting into Capital Corporation, and now the PLF gang has to fix them. So pretty much, in a layman's term, Trunks cucked himself. Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious, bro. That's absolutely hilarious. He literally cucked himself and going on his date with Mai. All he had to do was literally just stay in his room and play video games all day and just sleep on it. And guess what? She would have been free for Saturday because guess what? There would have been no more robots to be recalled. Boom. Or well, actually, if they had just stopped whatever, but regardless, it seems like if they just had stopped right there and there were no robots being recalled, well, he would have been free for his movie date with Mai. Although it seems like she's rejecting him so far, but again, we don't know. So yeah. Nice, cool chapter of Dragon Ball Super. Nice introductory thing back to it. It was nice to actually get a change of pace to see the sons of Goku and and Vegeta actually kind of taking center stage here, for once. And it was cool to see Trunks as the main character. Obviously he's a more well-known character compared to Goten, and a lot of people would deem Trunks cooler, but it's nice to see a much older Trunks than a kid Trunks. But I do like the fact that he does still have his kid-like traits, this version of Trunks, but at the same time he does take some things from future Trunks, but it is what it is. Them stealing the Dr. Hedo, Dr. Gero confidential disc, it's interesting because you have to wonder now, if you go back to the movie, Dr. Hedo didn't have like the whole thing to make perfect Cell for Cell Max. He only got Cell Max up to second form Cell. So maybe that's the reason why Cell Max wasn't in perfect form Cell. It was in that state because, well, guess what? Dr. Hedo didn't have the disc on him. Trunks took it. So I have a feeling that Dr. Hedo is going to go to Blue Hole High School. He's going to have some sort of encounter with Trunks and Goten. And that's going to be in their Great Saiyaman gear. Now, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 haven't been completed. Now, if you look when you look at Trunks and Goten in their Great Saiyaman gear compared to Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, I think you can clearly see where Dr. Hedo gets his inspiration from. He must get their inspiration from Trunks and Goten. So in a way, Trunks and Goten created Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. I feel like that's what's going to happen. Dr. Hedo's going to come across Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, X1 and X2, which is Trunks and Goten. He's going to see that, and then he's going to be inspired by that, and that's going to make him create Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. There we go. Okay, before we get out of here, I want to give my thoughts. I wanted to give my thoughts on this whole thing with Mai and the Trunks relationship. I know it's kind of a controversial topic, to be honest. There are some people that don't mind the relationship or the fact that Toriyama and Toritaro are pushing the Trunks and Mai relationship, while there are some people in the community that are just like, no, I don't want to see it. Why are they pushing it? Blah, blah, blah. And they have to force it down our damn throats. Listen, and the reason why that group is kind of mad about that is because they're doing the whole, Mai is a lot older than what she truly is in terms of her physical body. Her physical body, she's at the age of a teenager, while soul wise, her soul is pretty much the age of around a woman who's like in her late 50s, probably early 60s. Again, makes sense why she turned down Trunks about like, the movie's not my cup of tea. Because, well, she's not into that stuff because really she's like 55, 6 years old. If anything, she'd probably be if anything, that would be a movie she'd probably take a kid to if she had kids. Anyways. There's people have issues with it. Some people are just fine with it and they're just like, it's no big deal. I think you people are looking into it a little bit too damn much, and everything. I'll say this. I can understand what people are saying on the other side. The people that are mad about this side of the whole, well, Maya's technically truly late 50s, early 60s. There's no way she should even be remotely interested in dating Trunks. And that's also weird. I can get that fact. I can get that thing. And then I can also get the whole aspect of like people saying you're looking a little bit too much into it. Yes, that's right. Even regardless though, still her physical body is that of a pretty much the same age as Trunks, really. And if anything, that's kind of thing. Okay, here's my thing with this whole situation. One, we don't see Mai going 100% out of her way to ask Trunks out on a date. Maybe if that's the case, okay, I can agree with the angry crowd. And that might be a little bit weird. Because she's into him. And yes, there's times in the past where she's shown some affection towards kid Trunks when she was a kid. But other than that, nothing really went anywhere. We see in this chapter alone, Trunks is the one who's shooting his shot. He's doing whatever he can to shoot his shot. And honestly, I like the way how they kind of depicted Trunks in this chapter when it comes to asking out Mai, because in the spoilers, it sounded like this man was going absolutely over the top to try to ask her out and everything. But we see that in some cases he does go over the top, but he's like, hey, I wanted to go to this movie with you, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, it's Trunks asking her out. Now, again, Trunks does not know that she is a lot older than what she looks like because, well, guess what? She hasn't told him and everything. I don't know if she will ever tell him about that whole situation. Maybe she will at some point. I don't know. But it seems like Mai is not going out of her way to try to go Trunks. She kind of looked, to me, especially this chapter when the whole thing, it seems like, okay, I guess we could do that, but really right now I'm busy and kind of not my cup of tea. So I think personally, if I was Trunks and you're asking a girl out, go to a scary movie. Just go to a scary movie, which I think Bulma would help him out on that whole situation. Bulma clearly knows that Trunks likes Mai, so I think there'll be a conversation where Bulma's like, so, I know you like Mai, and you tried to ask her out to the movies, and everything. But anyways, I don't think they're going to be dating when they're teenagers. I think when Trunks becomes of age and he's illegal, which is like 20, which is probably around like end of Z time, if Mai is still in the storyline, I guess you can say, I can definitely see them dating. And I think that's acceptable. Honestly, I go with that route. Have it to be where they end up dating when he's 20 and when their physical body and her physical body is 20. Obviously, she'll be like way older than that. But regardless, that's kind of thing. And to me, it looks like Mai, it's not like she's not interested in Trunks. It looks like it's the whole thing of she may have an intrigue in him. It's just she's so damn busy all the time. She never has the time to potentially hang out with him or Trunks never has those moments to hang out with her, which, it's pretty interesting that even in the chapter, Pilaf makes the mention, like, not even you, Trunks, can get us to get out of our work. Now, it's funny because I'm like, I don't know why Trunks can't just go up to Bulma and say, well, I know you let them say, well, they can stay here if they work for us. But I really like Mai. Can she just be off for a day and I can go out? Maybe Bulma makes that exception for the slide. But I honestly don't have any issues with the Trunks Mai relationship outside the age issue, to an extent. Like I said, have them eventually, if they're gonna push this whole relationship and this is gonna be Trunks's girlfriend for the remainder of the series and everything, because that's what they were pushing in the anime or that's what they were pushing on the Future Trunks arc with Future Mai and Future Trunks. They were older, so people didn't have issues with it. It was more acceptable. So when Trunks ends up becoming an adult around like 2021 and Mai's physical body is 2021-ish right there, I think more people will be fine with the acceptance of the fact that, okay, I'm cool with them dating. Um, well, you do have some people that just don't like this whole relationship angle that they're pushing. I have no issue with it. I'm honestly fine with it, to be honest. And I honestly think it's quite, to me, I think it's quite funny, hilarious, and I think it's quite cute on Trunks' side that he pretty much is simping for a girl big time, and he just wants to go out with this girl that pretty much in a way kind of lives with him, and he just wants to ask her out on a date because he just started to get infatuated with her way back thanks to the future Trunks stuff. But I thought it was a solid chapter. I just want to get my thoughts on the my Trunks relationship thing and then everything else. But good start off to the chapter. This video was probably definitely long, but hey, that's kind of the thing. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's manga chapter for Dragon Ball Super, as well as hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Dragon Ball Super content or anything else on the channel I upload. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day. Peace.